Hey everyone, Brother Brent here with you again today for another daily devotional. Hope you guys are doing well. The last time I did one, we were in Genesis 3, 1 through 5, and we read where the serpent tempted Eve in the Garden of Eden. Today we're going to pick up in Genesis 3, verse 6, and see what happened in that temptation. Verse 6 says, "So when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree desirable to make one wise, she took of its fruit, and she ate. She also gave to her husband with her, and he ate. Then the eyes of both of them were opened, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together, and made themselves coverings. And they heard the sound of the Lord God walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord among the trees of the garden." So we see here that Eve fell to the temptation that the serpent had laid in front of her. And that's not always hard to do. If we're not walking with God the way we need to be, if we're not with Him in our study, in our prayer, in His presence every day, it can be easy as humans to drift away. If you ever thought about a boat being near a dock, if it's not tied to the dock properly, it will drift off in the current. And a lot of us can be that exact same way. Here, Eve and Adam were in the garden, and they were actually walking physically with God, yet God was not with them at this time, and they fell into temptation. And right now, as we are sheltered in place, and you're not coming to church regularly, you're not seeing God's people all the time, it can be tough, and we can easily fall into sin. I want to encourage you right now to be faithful, to go to God with your needs. Honestly, take some time to be with God. Audit yourself. See if you're right with Him right now. If you're not, you know it. Your soul, your heart, your mind, they just feel off with God. We're called to love Him with all of our heart, our mind, and our soul. And I know that He's called us to have Him as top priority in our life. And when we don't do that, I know personally, I know how life goes. It is not satisfying. It is not the way we're designed to be, and it just doesn't feel right. So I want to encourage you, don't hide from God as Adam and Eve hid from God after they had sinned. Go to God boldly, confess that sin, and get right with Him. Keep your relationship right with God. It's the most important thing you have. Keep it right so that everything else in your life flows right, and so that you can remain in a great relationship with Him. There's nothing more satisfying than being right with God. Hope you have a great day.